It's Sunday and usually I would be doing a live stream tonight. However, I'm unfortunately tied up. So instead, I'm going to do this as a pre-recorded. Now, this week, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the news that I've seen this week, such as the DJI Sale, which is happening in the UK and Europe, Skydio, as well as Autel, how the human malware situation is affecting the drone industry in the UK, as well as talk about a couple of new products that I've seen with regards to digital FPV systems and flight controllers. If you find our videos useful, please do consider subscribing to the channel. There is a button in the bottom right hand corner of each video. Also, please do make sure you click the little bell icon and set this to all. That way you will receive notifications of any new videos that we release on our channel in the future. Now, the first thing we're going to do is talk a little bit about the DJI Sale. Now, this week, DJI have announced in Europe a sale on some of their products. Now, it is specifically mostly camera products, such as the Osmo Action, Osmo Pocket, Osmo Mobile, as well as the DJI Robomaster. Now, this sale is only in the UK and Europe, and it is not available in other regions as of yet. Specifically, they've dropped the price of the Osmo Action down to £249 in the UK, or €279. They've dropped the price of the Osmo Pocket down to £269 or €299. The Mobile 3 down to £99 or €109. And finally, the Robomaster is down to £449 or €499. Now, as I mentioned, this is only in the UK and Europe at this time, and it is unknown if it will move to the US. Now, for me, I actually think the Osmo Action is a bit of a cracking deal in this, and I'm actually going to order one myself. Now, I did my review on the Osmo Action a little bit time ago, but that was actually a loaner unit and I had to send it back. Now, I'm going to actually order myself one of these because I don't actually have a second GoPro style camera. I've got an older GoPro, which I've actually hacked over there to, it was a GoPro 2018 edition, which is hacked into being a black, but I would like a proper action camera. And I must admit, when I did use the Osmo Action, I was very impressed with how it performed. For me, the only downside to that camera is the fact that it doesn't have a HDMI output. If it did have HDMI output, it would be absolutely perfect. But I am going to order myself one. Now, if you are interested in this sale, I'm going to put some links to it in the description of this video as well. Now, they will be affiliate links. So if you do want to support the channel, you can use them. But if you don't want to support the channel, just go to DJI.com and you will find them there directly yourself. Next, I want to move over to the Evo 2 and talk a little bit about this. Now, supply of the Evo 2 is starting to come through, looking at some videos online and looking at what people are saying. However, it is still very constrained, and it's clear they are having problems as a result of the human malware situation. One thing that I have found interesting is there doesn't seem to be much logic in where the supply is appearing. You seem to be getting dealers get one or two in random countries, mostly in the East, and you're getting people import them into the US or the UK, etc. Now, I have to say, I have seen one video that I'm actually quite impressed with on the Evo 2, and it is a gentleman called Crazy Patrick, and he's managed to get his hands on one, and he's been doing some demo videos this week showing it in action over the last week or so, and he's done a video showing the active track, and I have to say I am very impressed with how this is performed, much more impressed than I was expecting to be, because it's using the traditional style active track. So it's still using the object avoidance cameras on the front. You know, it's not doing like Skydio is doing with their very impressive 3D sensing all around it. It's using more traditional active track, but it has performed very, very well, and it's been moving through trees and bushes, and it actually looks much less hesitant than the Skydio does in many situations. And one of my comments on the Skydio footage, and I haven't used it yet myself, but one of my comments on it has always been that it does look more action style footage than cinematic, and when it's trying to move through trees and things like that, it is a little hesitant at times, and it moves around a bit, and it does make the footage look more like an action camera that's being used than a cinematic drone. However, I have to say the Autel looks very, very good, and it has behaved, according to this gentleman's videos, very well. Now, there are some downsides to this, and I have seen some people comment that the app really isn't finished yet. There are some functionality in the Skydio app that's, in the Autel app that isn't working. However, it is working well when it is. Now, this gentleman did actually have a problem with his, I believe. I haven't looked into it too deeply, and he did actually end up having either a crash or a loss, if I recall. If I look at his videos, he's got a new Evo 2 and more, so he did have an issue with his. However, it does seem like he's had it sorted out. Again, it is very early days on this drone at the moment. We are still waiting to see what it is like in the mass supply once it actually gets into a lot of people's hands. But overall, here and now, the object avoidance, I have to say, looks decent. I'm still very reserved on how the footage is going to look with regards to that 8K sensor with the quad Bayer filter. I'm not expecting it to look as good as the DJI. There has been some comments on users this week on the Autel Facebook group that the DJI color looks much better compared to the Autel one at this moment in time, but who knows where this will actually end up. But that is the current situation with regards to the Evo 2, and we're going to keep monitoring that one moving forward. With regards to Skydio, and I'll just bring this up for you guys to see, they have basically had to stop production as a result of the human malware shutdown. They are currently, all of their Bay employees have been advised to stay at home, and whilst they are still working from home, obviously that is going to have an effect on production. As soon as they're able to get up and running, they will do. Something interesting they did say at the same time as this notice that they put out, that they will be updating the firmware on the Skydio 2 last week, but that hasn't landed yet as far as I'm aware. It'll be interesting to see what this firmware update does bring, because I haven't seen too many problems with it, but it does make you wonder if there has been any changes as a result of that one that landed in the water, and whether they've sort of done some tweaks around that. But here and now, unfortunately, the Skydio 2 has had to stop production. The reality is this is probably hitting all of the manufacturers, and whilst Skydio have come out and made a statement about it, and Autel have been saying supply is constrained, the reality is this is hitting everyone right now. Hopefully these guys will get it back up and running as soon as possible. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you guys about is how the human malware situation is affecting drone use in the UK, and specifically commercial operators as well as hobby users. Now, with regards to hobby users, I will just share that again. There has been a statement put out, or a advisory from the CAA in the UK, basically saying that people should not be flying recreationally. Now, that means drone flying as well as standard aviation as well. Now, there has been a video circulating this week where a gentleman got into a bit of an argument with a police officer or PFCO, or a person basically trying to give him some advice, and I will just say the way he handled it was not exactly well. It wasn't exactly professional. But on the flip side, I also, you know, a gentleman in a field in the middle of nowhere with no one around him, there is no chance of spreading it to anyone else at that point. So I can understand why someone would want to think they can go out and fly, but on the flip side, how he handled that situation really wasn't acceptable. However, it should be added that they are saying that there should not be any recreational flying, whether it be a drone, a model aircraft, or anything else. Now, with regards to PFCOs and commercial operators in the UK, we are in the midst of a mass regulation change, and we should be right now heading towards the new changes that are coming in on the 1st of June. However, what is happening with that is a little bit unknown, because there has been some delays. Obviously, this situation is going to delay that as well. Further to that, the CAA has issued a waiver for existing PFCOs and commercial operators who were due to have to renew in the middle of this period. And what they are saying is anyone who is due to renew between the dates, or well, basically on or before the 30th of June, will now automatically get a 3-month extension on their PFCO, and they will need to renew it by the end of that extension. Now, that has raised a lot of questions in my head around, you know, they issued a statement saying if you don't renew your PFCO, you're going to lose it as a result of the changes into the new system. But they've now issued this extension, which means if you were due, and mine is actually due right in the middle of this as well, we've got a 3-month extension to be able to renew at the end of it. There is also going to be the other issue about honouring your 2 hours flight time as well to be able to prove it. And they do talk about that in the document a little bit. They say that you won't have to prove your flight time right now, but I still think you will have to prove your 2 hours flight time by the time you come to renew, but it will be interesting to see what the CAA say on that. But if you are a PFCO, there is a delay right now and you don't have to rush out and renew. You've got 3 months on it, but we're going to have to watch this one very carefully and see how this ties in to the whole GVC situation, and just make sure people don't accidentally lapse and not then be able to renew. Hopefully there will be a little bit of flexibility on that one, but obviously time will tell, and it's still early days. Now, as I mentioned, mine is due right in the middle of this as well, so obviously I'm going to be taking this 3 months extension, not that I can fly anyway. However, it is good to see it. The next thing I want to move over to before I quickly finish up this video, because I'm going to keep it as short as possible today, is 2 new products that I've seen announced this week. And they are basically both related to PX4 or Autopilot. One is a new product from Skydrones, and one is called their next generation ground station, which is the H16 and the H16 Pro. Now, I will again just bring this one up on the screen. Now, Skydroid, now, Skydroid T12 was a system that they had before, and they released that. Now, this is an updated system, and it appears to be based similarly on the chipset that Profi CNC and Hex are using on the HearLink, and it is basically a equivalent of HearLink, is probably the first thing to say. Now, it is a HD16 and HD16 Pro, which allows between 10 and 20 kilometers range. There is something a little bit strange on this, is that they're saying the H16 standard version will do 10 kilometers and the H16 Pro will do 20 kilometers. I don't understand why a Pro model has more range than the standard model, because if the radio system is the same, they should behave the same. And I don't see myself why that is a differentiating factor between the two systems. However, what they say is it is an Android-based system which allows up to 20 kilometers plus with the Pro system. It is the same SoC solution as HearLink, which will mean this should be using LTE over 2.4 gigahertz, or LTE over Wi-Fi is probably the correct term to use to give it that range. It has a fully functional Android OS, which means you can run any app. It has RC controls on its own link. Now, I won't go too much into this because I do know a little bit about this, but the early HearLink systems were using the joystick controls as part of the subsystem in the software, which was Q-Ground Control. This has actually now changed, and the controls are an independent service in the latest firmware. And I'm actually testing the latest firmware with the HearLink, which is also got Solex installed. So the new software has totally independent RC controls on HearLink, and then you've got the software controls within Solex or Q-Ground Control. However, these are making that a marketing factor as well. They've said it is reasonably priced, and it also has an Ethernet port on the ear unit and controller to support IP cameras and stuff like this. Now, it is designed to be used with Q-Ground Control. It has Android, so you can install other apps as well. Something to be aware of though, this won't have Solex. Solex is very much being worked on with Kelly and the guys at Profi CNC, and there's some fantastic work they're doing on there. As I've said, I've got to help them do some testing on this, and I've actually got it installed over there now, and there's some really cool things on that to come in the future as well, and it should make it a lot better. However, this does say that it is 1080p transmission on both systems, separate S-Bus port link, Ethernet transmission. So yeah, it's an interesting one to see. Now, price wise, I haven't seen anything concrete on this right now. I'd like to take a look at this with my own eyes, if I'm honest. It's one of those products that I'm intrigued about. I put a post on there very quickly after it was put up, as you can see down there. And what they've said is that, yes, solution and chipset. But it is very interesting indeed. And it is a product I would like to try and take a look at and show on this channel from Skydroid if it does become available in the UK or Europe at least. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it works out. As I said, the only thing I'm a bit confused about is why the data range is different on the standard and the Pro model. That isn't usually something that is a product separation. It's usually something like feature set or something like that. So that is going to be available soon, and hopefully we're going to see where that comes up. Finally, the next thing I just want to talk to you guys about is a new product from a company called Modell AI, and they have got what they call their PX4 companion computer and flight controller all-in-one released, or their VOXL, and this is a test system that they're releasing that allows you to have an onboard companion and flight controller all in one board. There's no additional hardware needed, and they've announced this week, and it comes in a number of models. You can get the flight controller on its own, or you can get the flight controller and then the board on its own, or you can have it as one large unit. And the interesting thing with this system is that it is supporting PX4, and it's a nice integration on the setup that we've seen, because whilst obviously the Cube can use an autopilot, you've got the HearLink basically is a companion computer, but we haven't seen much use on that yet. It is interesting to see this all in one as well, and it's using the Snapdragon 821 from Qualcomm, and that is quad core to 2.15 gigahertz on the companion computer. It's using the STM32 F7 CPU for the flight stack. So it isn't the H7, it's using the F7, which means it should have 1 gig of RAM off the top of my head. But yeah, it looks a very, very interesting setup. There is no onboard isolation and nothing on this system. So if I just click the video, you can see, if I just make that full screen, you can see that you've obviously got the companion board there on this one, and then you've got the flight controller element there, or you can get it as an all-in-one unit, and it's got SD card inputs for both the flight controller as well as the companion computer. You've got your onboard, you've got all your connections, and it just gives a whole host of options if you are a system integrator and you are looking to build an aircraft using a flight controller, and it does give you various things like that. I'll put a link to this in the description of it as well, and they do a whole host of options on the development kit for this. You've got just the flight stat board, and if you just have a look, the flight core is $199, so it isn't massively expensive, and that comes with the power module, the USB cables, and all of the connections. If you were looking at the full board, it comes about $549 with the built-in companion, and again, if you are a system integrator, that is going to be the ideal solution for you. But I will put a link to that in the description as well. Okay, that is pretty much it for this video. Now, if you want to leave any comments in the description, I will try and pick them up this evening when you guys are watching this video. I'm sorry I wasn't able to do a live stream tonight. I got a couple of other things on, unfortunately, even though we're in the middle of the human malware situation. But again, I'm going to be releasing a couple more videos on the channel this week. I've got some videos coming up about the HearLink once we're ready to share them. I've got some videos coming up about my 3D printer, and I've also got some ones coming up about my chair. I'm going to put another video out about the chair, as well as my PC build as well, because I did the case video the other day. If you've liked what you've seen, please do hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that bell. That bell is very, very important right now. People are finding on YouTube that YouTube are not promoting their videos as well as they used to because of the situation with the human malware. And as a result, it means that people are not getting the notifications. Now, the thing about this is, and I'll actually show you guys, there are two kinds of notification options. So I've subscribed to this gentleman here, which is the Casey Patrick on the Autel drone. If I click the little bell, it gives me the option of personalized or all. And if you click personalized, YouTube seem not to be fully sharing notifications of what videos are being released by creators. However, if you click the all button, they are. So that is something to take into account, and that will be the same for all of your favorite channels and all of the channels you subscribe to. So please do hit that subscribe button, and make sure you do hit that bell as well. And make sure you do have it on all, and that way you will get the notifications when people release videos, including myself. Finally, again, if you'd like to support the channel, I will put the links to that DJI Sale in the description as well for you guys. Please do leave a comment, tell me what you think. Please stay safe, please stay home, as everyone is saying right now, and I will release another video again soon.